Hi guys, welcome back to another quick card pull. This is being pulled on Wednesday, July the 22nd, 2026. Today we're pulling from the Kuromi Tarot cards. I got this off of Timu, however you pronounce it. So they're starting off with the Fool, so taking that leap. So this is, I love the way that her chest is out. So I feel like you should be proud of how far you've come. I love that there's like an ally. Usually they show like fur babies with this situation. But I love the fact that it's just like dare to be bold, like they're saying spread your wings and fly. So with myself as half asleep again today. And I was like, I wanted to do it, but I was just like, I don't think I'll have enough, and I didn't have enough time before I had to do a split shift today. But it's just like, making the most of it, and it's just like, you know what I mean? Maybe I'm gonna write it down so that way when I actually do it, it's like I have, I'm playing around with things and stuff like that. So when it actually happens, they're saying pull the trigger, and this is just to make it to forward motion. It's encouragement to move forward with this idea. No other, you know what I mean? No other thing with that. But this is for you to move forward. Take the leap of faith. Trust, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in your energies. Believe in your abilities. Highlighting yourself again, so how she had her chest out. And this is like, your fire energy. This is all about the Lunar New Year of the fiery horse. So, how you're seen by people. Being patient, because she is in a seated position. I feel like this is, if you're just starting this, be patient with your abilities. Be patient with your energies. Because, a lot of us have been doing this for a while before like we post and stuff like that, but we're also like, especially if you're just starting, you're a baby at this. You're just learning. You're learning your flow, you know what I mean? You're letting the cards tell you the story, but also the meaning is in there as well. So I feel like it's just like, be kind to yourself at this time as you transition, as you move forward. Remember, they were telling us like books were significant, so I feel like, not maybe some of you are going back to school, but I feel like when we were talking about what happened back then, so maybe you weren't the best student back then, but like with I wasn't the best student. I became a better student as I got more mature. But and realizing it's like, we shouldn't be messing around right now. There's more important things that are a priority. So that mental maturity comes in. But you know what you want to accomplish here. You know what you want to do. You know how you want to move forward. So that's where I'm saying, like, have more confidence in yourself. It'll come. The confidence will come to you more and more as you do it. I still get nervous. I still get nervous when I get personal readings. I haven't done a live in a minute, but hopefully this fall that'll transition. I'm able to do that more, and meet more of you, and you know what I mean? It's just like, how I still get nervous about that, but I feel like that's what keeps you humble, because you're not so arrogant thinking that, oh, you're the best and you're the greatest. You know what I mean? It's just like you're moving forward, and the people look up to you. You are seen as that quote unquote empress, mother, nurturing figure that gives sound advice. So I definitely feel like embrace that. Going to the Four of Cups, something coming out of the blue that you did not expect. I definitely got a lot of this last week, and I'm very thankful for it. I'm like, thank you for spoiling me. Continue to spoil. Like they said, you're going to be showering in what's coming here. So there's more things to come. Like, we feel, this is personally me, I feel guilty for asking for more even though I received it. But they're like, universe is not on a budget. So if they want to spoil you, let them. Like, you know what I mean? Because again, I feel like this karmic energy is in the air. You've changed who you are. You changed, like I just literally posted it. If the person that posted that on X had Tuesday, and I didn't have time to post it, and I was just like, I love the message, because it's just like, you do not need to put your energy into everything. So very much the Queen of Wands, where she's a fixer, or they're a fixer. And I feel like this is where they're highlighting. It's just like, you do not have to fix every situation. You do not have to get involved with everything. It was really hard for me, especially when I started my family. Me and Shane expanded onto our family, and we had Junior, our oldest, and family was going through situations, and obviously your heart's with them, but I'm like, I cannot, you know what I mean, be who I need to be for my family and put all my energy and resources into this. You know what I mean? So I told the person, I'm like, I love you very much, but I feel like this is going to be a good opportunity for you. He didn't do it, it's his choice, but obviously other things were factors that I didn't realize, but you know what I mean? It's just like, you got to realize that at the end of the day, like, be supportive, but you don't have to put like you don't have to exhaust yourself anymore, you know, or like a certain situation where you're praying for them, but they're not doing anything to change the situation. Definition of insanity. But I'm like, you know, I'm still going to pray for them. I believe strongly in the power of prayer and distance healing. So I'm just like, I'm just going to keep doing my thing. That's it. You know what I mean? Beyond that, I'm not getting involved. So we got a lot of 444s, and this again is where spirit is just like, you know, you'll see 1111 as a positive confirmation for this. This is spirit saying celebration. So my sister's birthday is next week. Birthday summer of birthdays is almost, it's just like the littles, like it's like ding 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 ding, like everybody's like from Mother's Day on, it's just busy busy busy, which is fine. You know what I mean? It's like I said, like where spirit is like, at least we're great, we're blessed enough to have people to celebrate. So 555 on the timer. You know what I mean? And it's like changing that perspective. You know, they've been talking about a lot of that crown chakra changing perspective. So this is, you know, celebrations. Maybe this is moving to a home, like, you know, your castle. You know what I mean? Your dream home. So maybe this is something like a Victorian or something like that. But I just feel like, you know, as a reminder that was posted, did we post it this week or late last week? Where it's just like, it's not about what we have in life, it's who's surrounding us. And I feel like that's very important. You know what I mean? Like, as long as my family is doing well, that's all that matters to me. You know what I mean? It's like, obviously everybody wants to live comfortably, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm working on, you know what I mean? Beyond comfortable, but it's just like, you know, I feel like someone deserves flowers. Like giving someone their flowers, like recognition for something. You know what I mean? I definitely try to make sure that I give people their recognition and their flowers where it's due, because I feel like it's important. It's not like they need to hear it, but it's nice to hear it. You know what I mean? So I feel like maybe you've gone through this where it's just like, you know, it would have been a nice to be like, way to go, or great job, or something like that. You know what I mean? It's not like you need to hear it, but it's nice to hear. You know what I mean? Especially people that you, I guess it's like, I don't feel like it's people pleaser, but it's like people you want to be happy with you. And it's like, you're constantly overlooked, undervalued. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's good to feel that value, that love. Like, I see what you're doing. I know you don't have to do this, but I appreciate what you do. I appreciate you showing up. I appreciate you putting your energies and efforts into it. So, Ace of Swords. So, we were knocking about this. There's that crown again. So, I believe it was Wisdom that was with the Crow insight cards. So, crowns have been very significant lately. And I feel like I'm going back to, they keep on showing Amorosa in the Big Brother house when they were doing Celebrity Big Brother, and I believe she was from Venezuela, and she's like, because she hadn't got crowned Miss America yet, it's like, you're delayed is not denied, and I feel like that's what they're saying. Like, maybe there's been delays in things for you to be successful, and I feel like this is going back to that Four of Wands. Not even successful, it's just being happy, or things that you're trying to call in manifestations. That's been a major thing. Shaking a tree because you see the leaves coming down, so it could be sign of like fall. But I feel like as long as you're on the side of truth, I feel like people have put in a narrative of, you know, myths, truths. It's like, oh, this fits our situation, we could say what we want because they don't know this is being said. They're not here to insert their truth in here, you know, so the narrative is what I make of it. So maybe someone's calling you to clarify that truth. You know, remember they were saying like six of wands energy, someone from your past, you don't have to talk to them, but if you wanted to, you can. So like Mercury retrograde, like that's wrapping up. Today's the 22nd. So hangover energy, like the 24th, 26th. The 28th is the latest. You know what I mean? But I don't feel like it's anything. I just feel like it's just disturbances. We were talking about that as well. So like with ourselves, it just, hey, you know, we're coming in after lunch, and I'm like, what time is that? Like, you know what I mean? That's like what, an hour's notice? You know what I mean? It's just like, okay, sure, whatever you say. You know, it's just like, oh my gosh. This is where deceit is being lifted. So I was definitely overthinking situations. Obviously, something has changed in our life, recalibrated, and you know what I mean? I feel like this is where spirit is like, we told you you'd be fine, you're fine. It's like, this is what you need to do. And I'm very thankful for that. They're just like, we did that same thing with hydro, paying it off. So, you know what I mean? By the time it comes to the bill, like the bill was already paid off before it was due. You know what I mean? And I'm very thankful for that. So I feel like that's what they're talking about, especially with the King of Swords coming up. Or not King of Swords, excuse me, King of Pentacles. King of Swords came up as well. But this is where it's just like, when they're telling you to watch your financials, it's like you can, like, we're trying to give you the answers you're seeking and we're giving the answers. So it's just like, yeah, it sucks for a moment, but it's just like, it's still comfortable. It's just not, doing certain things, as often, which is fine. You know what I mean? It's like not like we need to do it or anything. But I feel like that's where they're saying a lot of deceit, a lot of misinformation. So, like, with that shadow energy, I know we're heading to the full moon on the 29th, but I feel like there's been, like, this shadow, that's been really potent because it's Pluto retrograde, Mercury retrograde, and it was the new moon. So I feel like that's where they're really coming in potent, and it's just, like, trying to change the narrative or try to, make you feel like, this is not possible, or, you know what I mean, giving you anxieties. So definitely with myself, and again, this is what works for me. Take what resonates. You don't have to meditate for an hour for things to change. If you're able to, great. But sound healer Cody, I think it's about 4 minutes to 7 minutes, and I listen to it before and after and like work and just like ground myself. You know what I mean? I feel like it's like you gotta nurture yourself too. As much as you're seen as the empress, as any of the queens, it's like nurturing energy. It's like you gotta really root yourself. This is where it's like a deeper expanding, like doing internal work. And it's just like you gotta do what it takes to take care of you. You are just as important as everyone else. You know what I mean? You always put everybody above you, but you gotta make sure you're good too. Because if you're not good, that affects other people. Especially if you're someone that is in the role of being a parent or someone that takes care of a caregiver. You know what I mean? That, like I've been dragging my butt for the past 2 days and it's just like, kind of just like getting through the day. You know what I mean? Because I am dragging my butt, but it's just like, I know that affects everybody else. So I just try to, keep a little bit more quiet because I'm like, tired and stuff like that. So I get a little crabby and everything. So it's just like trying to just, again, push up the priorities. It's like getting taken care of those tasks. Whatever else bonus gets done, it gets done. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, you're doing the best you can. But you got to remember, do not overextend yourself and do not take on any other tasks or whatever that people are trying to put on you. So going with the 7 of Swords here, where it's just like holding everything close to your chest in a fear of losing it. I love the candle energy there. I feel like Shabbat. So maybe like each candle is a week or maybe even 4 days, but I feel like weeks. I feel like in 4 weeks, things will be definitely different. It's like you're holding everything close to your chest in the fear of losing it. So maybe there's going to be like they're saying confirmation of this, that you have nothing to fear at all. Again, with the crown. But I don't feel like this is like, I feel like false truths is what they're saying. So again, with that narrative, people are saying what they want going to say. I don't know if they're going to, I don't feel like they're confronting you. I feel like maybe they're like, you got been passing by and the conversation, is struck up and it's like, kind of clearing the air. Who knows? Like, I feel like it's like, okay, you said they're this, but they did this. So I feel like what you're telling me is a lie. So I don't know if they're going to confront that person or not, but someone is definitely trying to soil your good name. But it's just like, you just keep being you. Just pull your energy back from. As soon as you find out who that person is, it's just like you pull back. You don't have to do anything. Wish them well. Asalu, let the universe take care of it. 3 of Swords. So something heartbreaking here. So I feel like heartbreaking news. I feel like, again, where it's just like, you never thought that this person would go against you and they did. It's unfortunate. 444. One of our favorite numbers when we do quick card pulls. But 12 is what they're showing me in my mind's eye. That didn't actually show up, but in my mind's eye, I'll put that mind's eye. So that might be significant. But I feel like that's what they're saying. It's just, it's hard to hear, hard pill to swallow. But it's like you already knew. You know what I mean? I was like, like we're all guilty of talking and gossiping and stuff like that. But you know what I mean? Like I know with one situation, it's just like, well, how come? And it's just like, well, I was, and they're just like, oh, but you were, and it's like, it is what it is. Some people just get jealous of certain situations. You know what I mean? They have to be the center of attention of everything, and it's just like, narcissism is what they're saying. And I feel like this is where Spirit is like, you don't have to worry about any of that because everything is wrapping up. You are closing this part of where you were in the year or in the month or whatever you feel like that is. But things are closing up because you had a lot of movement in your life. Like they said, it's going to feel like a loss. It's 555 again on the timer. It felt like a loss, major change of transformation. So like Death card was definitely like a major theme of this year, where it's people, places, things that are moving in and out of your life because we're being pushed in a different direction. And I feel like that's where it's just like you don't have time to worry with that because you're getting ready to this whole new, chapter era, you know what I mean? Like Eye of Wisdom or what are they called? Energy 79.79, I think, is their backup account on TikTok. And it was just talking about like they keep on talking about the golden era, the new era, and they're like you have to go through this to get to the goal, to get to that new era. You know what I mean? So it's just like, this was absolutely necessary, and this is what's going to pull you forward. This is going to get you to where you're trying to manifest, because I haven't seen him since, but and I usually try to follow people because I've learned my lesson. It's like if I like you, I'm going to start following you because I like what I'm seeing, and you know what I mean? I love to. It's just sometimes you follow people and it's like they just fill up your feed and you're just like, ugh, didn't want that much, but I still like your content. But I would like to see other things besides your content. You know what I mean? But it's just. But he did say like where you're currently working is not going to get you to where you want to be. You know what I mean? Where you're living is not what you're trying to happen is not going to happen there. So I feel like, you know what I mean? And that's not saying quit your job and move. No, not at all. They're just saying like keep on making the moves you're making, but you know that those situations are going to change as well. Or things in that environment is going to change somehow. So that's why they're saying everything is, wrapping up nicely. They're showing like, it's like wrapping a present and you just, you're finishing the touches with the pretty little bow. Like you're making sure the bow is perfect. And that's that. Be thankful for what you've learned, thankful for the experiences, the knowledge, the wisdom, the guidance, and time for the new chapter. Time for the new mountain to ascend. So the moon. So this is right now heading into the full moon, which is the 29th. Love the balance coming back in here because it's definitely been rocky, but also calling back in our tribes. You know what I mean? I feel like this is like reconnecting with people because everybody's been busy, chaotic. It's summertime. A lot of the kids are out of school. Some of them are getting ready to go back to school. You know what I mean? It's just like, where you can reconnect with each other. They're showing wine. So maybe like, lighting candles and watching a movie and sipping on some wine or something like that. So reconnection. So that, like I said, like, my sister's birthday is coming up. So like connecting again with that. You know what I mean? So it's like take what resonates there, but reconnecting with people, even if it's not, I feel like it may be on just social media, which is fine, because I know a lot of us that are connected that way is like we wish we could see these individuals all the time because there's just that strong of a connection. One thing you have to remember in this journey is that you have everything it takes to get through this time. So remember with the crow's insight that they're talking about some chaos. I don't think it's a chaos. I feel like it's a disturbance. So where it's just like with myself, I just finished doing a bunch of like we're purging the house, and and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do how people wash the sink. So you put your baking soda, so vinegar or lemon, whatever your combo is there to like really scrub it, really thoroughly clean the drain and everything like that. So I did all that, and then they came in and they it's like a freaking dust bomb went off. It's like, oh my god. I was just like, how, I have to start all over again. It sucks. But what can you do, right? It's just, it's part of it. Part of the journey, you know what I mean? But again, it's just like, that's why I'm saying something's going to come in, disturb your energy. They're saying something with someone's grass. I don't know what, because it's burnt. It's summer. Grass burns. You know what I mean? Don't, you know what I mean? Even if you water the living pahookie out of it, it's still, it's just so hot. It's just, you know what I mean? The weather's just been nuts and the air is very humid. So it's just, I don't know if this is increasing your water bill or what, but I don't know. Don't stress over grass. Life is worth more than grass. They're playing from the Burbs. The neighbor, I don't know his name, but it was like the main character's best friend, and he's like, "Get off my lawn." Very Monster House, the cartoon, the animation. But like they're saying, this is why I was saying I feel like it's a disturbance. I don't feel like this is something that's going to be permanent. But they're saying like after a chaotic time, after these things that feel like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on, there's going to be a time of peace. And this is where again they're saying grounding yourself in your emotions. So whatever that means to you, if it's they're showing putting your feet in the grass, going for walks, going for hikes, you know what I mean? Like this year has been definitely different from previous years. Um, Opening your eyes is what they're saying. You know what I mean? Seeing people, their true colors and stuff like that. But this is where they're saying, like, be open to receiving. Be open to, little miracles, big blessings, little blessings. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like I'm sitting there and I'm like, I am so thankful. And it's like we sing Dianu. I know it's supposed to be only for Passover, but we sing it every Friday. We're just like, not only did you do this, you didn't have to do this, but you brought that in, but you also brought this in. You know what I mean? And it's like being so thankful. And it's like, this is where I'm saying, like, because those things happen does not mean you have to close yourself off. Like, that's basically proof that you asked for something, you received it. It's just like thanking you for being such an amazing being that you are. But it's like, this is where it's just like, do not look onto the outside world to validate you or fill your cup, because this is where the universe comes in. You know what I mean? And I feel like this is where, like they're saying, you're literally singing happy in the rain, and it's like you have a bar. It looks like not they're saying dial, but it looks like the Irish Spring, but it shows the word dial carved into the soap, or printed in the soap. So that's where I'm just like, things are taking a wonderful turn. You know what I mean? Where the struggle is over. You know what I mean? Where I just feel like you're content. I just, you know what I mean? Obviously, you want the next thing. They're showing ideas, so it's like believe in those ideas, believe in yourself, and keep pushing forward. And whatever you need to do to ground yourself with no harm to none, including yourself, try to bring those into your daily life, because it will make things much easier. Because life be lifing sometimes, and sometimes we just need to woosah and take a break. So be kind to yourself. Whenever you're able to put your feet up, do not feel guilty for putting your feet up. Especially when there's been those disturbances where it's just like, we're all like myself, my girlfriend saying the same thing. I'm just like, oh my God, I've been dragging my butt the past 2 days. She's like, yeah, me too. So it's just like, you're dragging your butt. That is universe saying you need to, you know what I mean? Even my alarm clock is saying the same thing. Quit pushing yourself. You know what I mean? So just take it easy. So I hope you enjoyed this quick card pull. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next one.